We are already almost 4 months into 2024, and today I want to give you 5 reasons why I believe everyone should learn no-code tools in 2024. In no particular order, let's start with reason number 1. No-code tools empower you to build apps even if you're non-technical. What this means is that up to a certain point in time, maybe like last year when all this craze with no-code started, only people who knew how to code, people who are software engineers, or people who had access to software engineers could build apps. And now a lot of people are becoming what we call citizen developers, which means non-technical people that can build apps leveraging no-code tools like Bubble, Software, Frontly, my personal favorite one, and different automation software like Zapier or Make.com. And when people talk about no-code apps, they focus mostly on, okay, let's build the next Facebook or let's build the next Uber or something like that. And for me, that's not actually the point. The point is that no-code builders allow you to tremendously improve your internal processes. What I mean is now every organization can train one employee to use some form of no-code tech stack, and they can start building apps that would tremendously improve the internal operations of this company. For example, the accounting company that I work with, approximately half of their clients are issuing their own invoices. For the other half, the accounting company does it. But those half that are doing it on their own to save from accounting costs, some of them use Excel, some of them use Google Sheets, some of them use Word files, some of them use like third-party software and things like that. And this creates a lot of problems for this accounting company, because after that they have to manually input all this into the accounting software. And right now I'm talking to them for the possibility of building them an invoicing tool that their clients can use on their own to issue invoices, but at the same time, then the accounting company can export a spreadsheet that they can then import into the ERP software, their accounting system. So it would tremendously improve the process and save them a lot of time of manually inputting like thousands of invoices every month. And at the same time, they would still be able to provide this to their customers for free, because the upkeep will be like negligible, and they wouldn't have to spend time to invoice on behalf of their clients. And that's exactly where this empowerment comes from, is that now pretty much any business can automate and digitize their entire internal processes ecosystem without having to spend a lot of money or waste a lot of time and so on. And whether you're a solopreneur or a wantrepreneur or an employee in a business, learning no-code would allow you to add a bit of value to each of those scenarios. So if you're doing something on your own, you can build like internal, it's just you, but you can build systems for yourself, which I've been doing. For example, if you're a content creator, you can build a system to manage your content, manage contracts with advertisers and things like that. On the other hand, if you're employed at a business, you can learn those things, then go to your manager and tell him, okay, let me automate this. Let me improve this process by digitizing it, which would make you a much more valuable employee and would give you grounds to ask for a raise, for example. Reason number 2 is rapid prototyping. No-code tools allow us to try out ideas much faster. For example, like 5-10 years ago, if you want to build a prototype or an MVP, if you're playing the startup game or whatever, you would have to hire someone or learn how to code and then build it on your own or pay someone to do it, but it would take much longer and it would cost much more. Right now, you can pay a few bucks for a monthly subscription of, let's say, Frontly, where you can connect Google Sheets, which would serve as your backend, your database, and it's free. And you can easily prototype all those things that you're thinking might be helpful for your business, but you don't know, and you don't want to spend 6 months building it just to see that your employees don't use it or your colleagues don't use it. So this allows you to much faster try out different ideas, try out different things, and iterate much faster. And if you're a startup founder, you can even use no-code tools to build the first version of your entire startup, your app. Not going to go into success stories, but there are a lot of success stories online of people who built everything on Bubble and then managed to raise VC capital or managed to start making a significant amount of money that allowed them to go at it full time. So by learning no-code development, you give yourself the opportunity to try out ideas much faster. And this is a great thing because pretty much every non-technical person, and I'm a non-technical person, I know how to code a little, but I cannot build entire applications. Every one of us at some point has said, yeah, I wish there was an app for that. I wish there was a way to track this digitally and things like that. And by learning how to use no-code tools, you can be the person that says, yeah, I wish there was this. Yeah, let me build it. Even if you build it for yourself, you don't have to make it a startup. Even if it's something that just improves and speeds up your daily life, your daily workflows, it's still worth it. And that's what no-code tools and learning them allow you to do. And this pretty much covered reason number 3, which is that no-code tools increase your productivity. And here I'm thinking about it not from the perspective of app builders, but more of automation platforms. So my favorite one and the one I use all the time is Bing.com. There's also Zapier, ActivePieces, and many others, but they all work the same way. The concept is that instead of you having to code to connect different services, you have a drag and drop, almost like a flowchart builder that allows you to get data from one place and put it in another and link different services so that you can perform complex scenarios. For example, you can listen for new YouTube videos and then post about them on social media. You can add interesting articles to a list and then have an automation that reads the article, pulls up a short summary, and makes it easier for you to later on figure out, okay, what was this link that I saved, what it's all about. And the opportunities here are endless because you can literally connect thousands of apps and make them work together. So by learning to use no-code automation tools, you can really streamline and really improve your processes, thus really increasing your productivity, be it at your own hobbies, content creation, things like that, freelancing, or even working at a company. You can still use those tools and leverage them to improve the overall productivity. Number 4 is scalability, and this is a really controversial one. So the biggest debate online is can you scale no-code apps? So there are two completely opposite opinions. So a lot of people say no, you cannot scale because either it's too clunky because it has to accommodate a lot of different use cases. And even if you can scale, it gets really expensive really fast. But then on the other hand, you have so many success stories where people manage to scale. And I'm not going to pick a position, but what I want to say here is that yes, no-code tools can be scaled, but to a certain point. And the way I think about it is that people that are focusing on scalability are people that are focusing on an imaginary problem. Scalability is a great problem to have. So first get there, and as you start to approach this problem, then think of a solution. If you're building a startup and you're building an app with no code, chances are you'll never get to a scale that would become an issue. So no point to worry about it right now. And on the other hand, if you grow really, really fast, you'll probably be able to raise money or get money from customers and even be able to afford the larger costs from this no-code platform that you're scaling with, or you'll be able to hire a team after you've proven the idea with a no-code MVP, hire a team and then have them build it from scratch using code. So this one, again, is a bit connected to the rapid prototyping. So most of the times, if we're talking about an internal tool, then scalability is not really an issue. you might have issue with the database, but thankfully there are a lot of like really powerful database solutions that are working with no-code integrations. So I don't see that as a real problem, real issue. You can always figure it out when you start to approach it. And on the other hand, if you're building a startup and you're building like the next huge social network, you probably won't use no-code for your like actual app, because you probably have some technical advantage that would propel you, and this won't be in no-code. You have to code it from scratch. But you can still leverage no-code to prototype rapidly, as we mentioned earlier, and iterate over your MVP until you hopefully find product market fit and you at least know exactly what you need to build when you step out of the no-code world. And number 5 is collaboration and integration. I put those two together. Integrations, I already touched on that. So platforms like Make.com and Zapier, they allow you to connect so many apps and make it so easy to transfer data from one service to another, manipulate it in the middle and things like that. And I really think that this is a huge time saver, because I've been in a startup and I've seen the other side of like things like processing payments, things like taking care of various data requests and manipulation of this data before you serve it to the front end. This can be a real hassle, and automation services can really help you, especially in the beginning. So the integrations that no-code provides are amazing in my opinion, and can really turn the tables in a lot of situations and turn them in your favor. But most importantly, all those tools are built with collaboration in mind. I know if you're a software engineer and you work in such a company, you have all those tools that allow you to collaborate. I don't want people to make fun of me, but let's say you have Git and other tools. And I think that the difference here comes mainly from the fact that no-code tools are much more visual. So it's much easier to collaborate looking at a screen, at a shared screen, or just both of you being in there at the same time. While coding, yes, you can work on one component when someone else is coding the other component, but you probably won't work on them together. And that's where collaboration is much better in no-code, in my experience at least. And that can be both good and bad. But in my opinion, one of the reasons why it's really important to learn no-code is that it allows you this collaboration where you can sit down with a client, share your screen, and just go through a make scenario, figure out if it does exactly what they want, and they'll understand it because it's essentially a flowchart. But if you're coding it, it would be much harder to sit down and explain what your code does to a client. And that's what I mean when I say collaboration. I don't mean that you can see two mouses, two people doing the same thing on the same page. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that it's much easier to collaborate with stakeholders when you're building something with no code as opposed to when you're building it with code. I hope I convinced you to at least give no-code apps a try. Just play around with them and figure out which ones are good for you and can help you. And if you need a bit more convincing, you should check out this video where I show you how to save a lot of time by using Make.com automations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in this video.